Welcome to this screencast on the introduction to problem 3.5 from Moving Straight Ahead. So we've been looking at comparing companies and trying to find when they cost the same or which company to go with, and where the lines cross on a graph is called the point of intersection. And that point of intersection, we can use that to help us to make decisions about which company is the best deal, or to find when the two equations are equal. So what this is a picture of, and you can read the paragraph on your worksheet, but this is the graph of the two companies, Mighty Tea and No Shrink. So here is the equation for No Shrink. That's what the cost is, $4.50 times the number of shirts. And the purple graph is their graph. And then for Mighty Tea, the cost equals $49 up front plus $1 per shirt. And then that's the blue graph. And you can see that they intersect here at 14,63. So the first question on your paper that I'm going to have you fill in is, what information do the coordinates of the point give you about the situation? So there's two numbers in a coordinate pair, and each of them have a label. So what that coordinate pair is telling us is that for 14 shirts, both companies charge $63. Right, so that's when they're the same, that's why they cross, and you can see the two numbers have labels now. Below that is question number 2. And in question number 2, it's looking at, we can make a graph to find where they intersect, but there's a faster way if we just use their equations. So how can we use the equations to find where they would intersect? So I'd like for you to copy this down on your paper as you see this process, and we're going to use equation solving to help us. So we want to know when the costs are equal. So Mighty Tea has a cost and No Shrink has a cost, but we want the two costs to be equal. So Mighty Tea costs $49 plus $1 per shirt. No Shrink costs $4.50 per shirt. So I'm going to take these two equations and make them equal. So I just write that they're equal. I just put an equal sign between them is what I do. And get rid of the C's. Now, to find out what n equals, I would solve that equation. So I have variables on both sides. So I want to subtract n from both sides. Then that would leave me with 49 on the left and 3.5 n's on the right. Now I need to divide to solve, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3.5, and that means I get 14. Well, if you remember, 14 is where on the graph they intersect. At 14 shirts, they're supposed to be the same amount of money. So when I solve this equation, I got 14. That's the number of shirts. Now to find the cost, I need to put that in the equations, the check, RSS. So I rewrite my equations, and they should be the same number on both sides. I'm going to substitute in 14 for the number of shirts on both sides, and then I evaluate both sides. 49 plus 14 on the left, and 4.5 times 14 on the right. And when I do that, both sides equal 63. So there's the answer. That's how you get that it should be $63 for 14 shirts from both companies. See how both sides equal 63. So today, you're going to do problem 3.5. I'm assuming that's why you're watching this video. And you're looking at these two main questions. How do you calculate profit, which is a real-life skill, and how do you use the equation to help you find the point of intersection? So that is what we just did on the front of the packet. So when you open up into your packet, you get introduced to Fabulous Fabian's Bakery. And when you own a bakery or any sort of place of business, you have expenses and you have income. And expenses are things you pay for, like the electric, like the rent, the materials. Some of those things cost a set amount every month, And some of those things can change per month. So he has expenses, and so he's given this equation for each month. He has these expenses every month. So every month he has $825 he has to pay every month. That's probably like his mortgage. It's the same, or his rent, same amount every month. But he also has $3.25 he pays that he spends per cake. So that means that there's some things he needs, the more cakes he makes, he needs more of. That would be things like flour, milk, eggs. So the more cakes he makes, the more he's going to need that. So those are his expenses for the month. He also makes income, and he does that by selling cakes. So when he sells cakes, he makes an income, and here's your income equation. So the income equals $8.20 times the number of cakes. So now that you know that, you are all set to start problem, moving straight ahead, problem 3.5. So thank you for watching this introduction. I hope it was helpful.